Hello, Knights of Sanguinius. Welcome back to the Chaptered Master. That's right, hello. I'm a lot more positive than you would expect from someone whose last 10 minutes of recording just crashed. Fuck this game sometimes. But anyway, let's not be negative. Time for positive things like fun. And do you know what's fun right now? Kicking the shit out of heretics. So, that is what we are going to do, my delightful friends. Alright, now, last time, we started fighting Necron Tomb world, and we started fighting back against the bloody orcs, and then shit went downhill. Now, unfortunately, it seemed I didn't save, or I only saved about 2 minutes before that, so thankfully the Necron Tomb world has not arisen yet, which is nice. Makes a nice change of pace, so we can probably see if we can send some troops over there to combat that. Also on our plate is these orcs, and pruning the last of these ruddy heretics off the face of the earth. So, we're going to see what we can do about that, and carry on in the meantime. Now, what's been happening with me the last little while? Well, I've had an interesting time. It was Father's Day the other day here in jolly old New Zealand, and went on a road trip with my dad to pick up his new rifle down in the Waikato. Nice to get out of Auckland, but I must admit, 6 hours in the car is enough to drive you mad sometimes, but c'est la vie and all that. Oh yes, what? We need to go Flint, isn't it? Flint 2. Cool. We'll unload all these guys here. Strange Predator. I think that's second company. But yeah, so that was alright, you know, is what it was. Got that out of my system, thankfully. And back now, getting volunteering done for my veterinary degree. I was worried I wouldn't actually be able to do it with all the COVID scaremongering and stuff. But thankfully it seems to be okay, so I'm willing to chalk that up as a victory. And I painted all of my 40k. I have no 40k left to do. All of it's done. Which leads me into the first of the little points I want to raise. So I have bought a box of Age of Sigmar. I hear the angry comments. Let me explain. So I loved Warhammer Fantasy. I loved reading about it. I never actually got any of the models because I was a bit too young. Didn't have any, my own income. But I loved fantasy, like guns and demons and magic. It was just so cool. 40k was cooler, but I did love fantasy. And I always wanted to do a fantasy army of dark elves, because the idea of evil elves just so appealed to my childlike brain. I was just like, whoa, that is amazing. But unfortunately, I never actually got the chance to do it. So, yes, sad, but it is what it is. So anyway, now that I've actually got some money again, and unfortunately now that Warhammer Fantasy is dead, I'm like, well, the only game in town is Age of Sigmar, and I do love the Daughters of Cain models, so I went and got myself a box of Daughters of Cain. Now the question is, I was thinking of doing a Tale of Four Gamers style once a month, show you my project sort of thing, and give myself little objectives and things, so building objectives or custom converting my own characters and stuff. So, would you like me to document that, or would you rather be not giving a shit and be more interested in just me sticking to the 40k and Warhammer video games? So, that's my thought at the process. Next thought. Oh yes, I've noticed that a lot of I've gotten a new influx of subs, which is gratefully appreciated, because, it's kind of nice to see the channel going up rather than down for a while. But I've noticed a lot of my non-40k things are getting a lot more dislikes lately. And people aren't leaving comments as to why, so I don't know if it's because you don't like non-40k content, or because you just don't like the video. Yeah. If you dislike something, leave a comment. I do it on any of the non-stuff I watch, even if it's just saying, this sucks and you're unfunny. Because it might seem like trolling, but I just think if you want to dislike something, then you should explain why. Otherwise, they can't improve. So, yeah, anyway, rant aside. So the question of the day is, do I not do as much non-40k shit and just focus on fewer uploads, but only 40k and Warhammer and stories and stuff? Or do you like the occasional intermittent of random games or whatever I happen to be playing, and do you want me to keep doing that? So that's the next question. More Necron Tomb worlds. I don't like Necron Tomb worlds. Oh, yes. Bush, bush. No, Orcs, good. Now, you move to New Vesavius and kick the shit. Fuck. Well, I mean, they are going to have to be there for a while because they're going to have to deal with those Orcs, but I would rather not have lost 2 companies to the warp to bollocks, but there you go. So, yeah, that's the question. Do I just stick with 40k and fantasy stuff, or do I just keep doing my little side projects and sort of suck up the dislikes coming around? So that's that thought. 1% heresy. Then we can start tackling this one, which will be nice, because 50 billion is a difficult number to try and break. So, yeah, that's the other thought. And on that subject, what do you want me to actually do more of? One of your battle brothers. Oh, yes, I did embark them upon a crusade. Which is good, because you can go immediately and deal with that, with those guys. That's nice. So, yeah, is it more stories? Is it more things like Dawn of War and Battlefleet Gothic Armada? I do want to get back onto doing my little talky things. So, like, I want to do part 2 of who Primarchs liked and disliked. I also want to list all the people that have kicked Gilliman's ass over the years, because there's actually a few, even though he's supposedly a Primarch and awesome, but rebel. So I actually want to do those, but the main problem in the way actually is my studies, because my studies are ramping up quite dramatically. I had to do a 3-page report just earlier today. So, yeah, shit's getting in the way somewhat, but there you go. So yeah, what content do you actually want me to do? And on that front, I'd love to do some narrative-themed campaigns combining Dawn of War and Battlefleet Gothic Armada. It's an idea I've wanted to have for a while. So, for example, say, redoing, I don't know, the Pandarax campaign, and the first stage is in the Void, of course. You know, Imperial Navy versus Chaos, and then maybe Dark Angels versus Chaos later on. And then combining that with actually playing on-the-ground missions in Dawn of War, so launch a raid, yeah, there we go. So Imperial Guard versus Chaos. So that's the thought. But I kind of need someone to actually help me with it, because the AI is unreliable. So there's a lot of ideas I really want to do that I'm actually limited by manpower. So, yeah, there you go. Good. Thank you very much. Alright, we're going to launch another bombing thing. I wish I had more ships to bomb, because the corruption's so overt that it's going to be troubling to try and receive more traitors from it. But yeah, that's the news report and stuff done, so there you go. Right, back to the game, I suppose. Although, I may as well just keep rambling on for fun. Keep bombing stuff. Oh yeah, I'm going to, by the way, I did like how that my last gun video, or my Eldar sniper video, was received. I liked that. And that was fun to do. That was literally an idea that just popped into my head and went, I have a uniform in the cupboard, so pulled on the uniform, went out into the garden and did it. So I actually want to do more little skits like that, although it's kind of hard in suburbia because I don't want the fucking neighbours calling the cops on me, even though the last gun is clearly fake, but, you know, rebel. But I'm going to do more things like that, and as I said, I'm actually going to do a few more skits like that and actually dress up for them. So that's actually going to be coming in the future. I just need to figure out what sort of skits I'd like to do. But yeah, that's going to be a happening thing as well. And yeah, that's about it. As I said, I've already said that all my 40k is painted. It's interesting, I have an army of Flesh Terrors, army of Sisters of Battle, and Chaos Space Marine, smallish Chaos Space Marine force, for 40k. And then for Horus Heresy, I have a force of Emperor's Children and a full Legion force of Blood Angels. So I actually have 5 armies, really. So it's gonna be good. I don't have anyone to play against, and why did I do that? My brain wasn't thinking. I honestly shouldn't have hit Raid. I was going to hit Bombard. My brain just wasn't thinking about that, but oh well. So, yeah. And I have actually played games against myself, because you can't go to clubs because of COVID and things. Which is kind of... It's funny, but it's also very sad. It made me think of Yun Yun from Konosuba when I was playing 40k by myself, rolling for both sides of the battlefield. Oh yeah, I may as well tell the match results. So the first battle was a capture the central objectives. It was Sisters of Battle versus Chaos. The Sisters of Battle just managed to win. Like, I was surprised. The Chaos put out a pretty solid fight in the end. It was quite interesting. But the Sisters managed to win thanks to the Penitent Engines. And the second battle was again Flesh Terrors vs Chaos, except it was a Annihilation Match. And what was interesting about that was Gabriel Seth came up and just did amazing work. It was like incredibly fascinating. Like, Seth killed the Chaos Lord and then charged into the squad of Khorne Berserkers and basically ripped them up. It was great. I don't even know why I did that. You can tell I'm rambling and off topic a little bit, but yeah, Seth just came into his own, man. He just annihilated a lot of the Chaos Marines. The Bikers was interesting. The Bikers turn 1 took out the Rhino and stranded the tactical squad, and then the Bell Predator ripped apart the Bikers to shreds. Seth took down the... Well, Seth and the Death Company, because he was escorting the Death Company. He took down the Khorne Berserkers and the Chaos Lord, which was a pretty awesome fight, before charging in and taking on the Havoc Squad on the hill, ripping them apart as well. Definitely MVP Seth. So yeah, and as I said, I've only played one of the 7th edition rules, and I must admit, 8th edition is more streamlined, but I don't know, 7th, just using the old Horus Heresy 7th rule set, it just seemed a little clean. Not cleaner, but it just... I don't know, I kind of liked it a little more. Maybe it's because I just have an old soul. But that was Emperor's Children vs Blood Angels, and Blood Angels won. I mean, I did kind of outfit the Blood Angels with a little bit more than the Emperor's Children force. I did try and keep it balanced, but considering the Blood Angels had a Leviathan and the Emperor's Children did not, then that was kind of not really going to be happening, was it? Film 1. Yeah, I'm sending some Marines over there. It's just I need time. Anyway, carrying on. So, yeah, it was actually a jolly good bit of fun, I must say. I was predicting that would happen, but I didn't expect them to... Defilers, Helldrakes, Chaos Space Marines, Bloodletters, Venerable, Greater Demon of... Oh my gosh! That unlucky trait is so bullshit. I really hate it in this game. I think I'm going to go back to doing little one-offs. One-off ideas and testing out war gear and stuff for a while. I'm still going to keep playing this game and keep the spirit alive, but gosh, the Lamenters are depressing because as maybe one of the only few people who actually goes out of their way to find Lamenters lore, the unlucky thing is not the main central theme of the Lamenters. It is the fact that they continue to be noble, loyal, and defiant in spite of that shitty luck. It isn't their only defining trait. But, no, yeah. Their battle cry is, for those we cherish, we die in glory. It's not, fuck, we have shit misfortune. Everyone sees Lamenters as just a meme of bad luck, but that's not what they are about. I would wish for somebody to get that in the community. I'd love a 40k novel about the Lamenters that explores the heart of them, their nobility, the fact that they give a shit about civilians, the noble bright in the grimdark. Which reminds me, I have actually half written one myself, but it never came out quite right in my story. I should probably resurrect it. I actually have 3 stories that I've been reluctant to do, because the last one I did about Sisters of Battle, I got a whole bunch of dislikes, and I was like, anyone explain why? And then nobody commented as to why. So it's like, do the audience only care about what the Emperor should have done in terms of my narration stories I make, or is it just because they didn't like the content? I don't know where to go unless I get feedback, which is why I keep hyping up the, if you dislike something, please comment it, because I can never improve unless you say so. As much as I despise the comments of, get a better audio setup, I knew, because I was getting them, to buy a better microphone, which is what I'm using now, compared to the shitty thing I was using before. So those comments actually help. Except I will admit, those bad audio ones, get a better microphone, fucking aggravate the shit out of me. But anyway, I'm rambling because I am sleep deprived, and I've just come off from writing a bloody 3-page report on the dietary requirements of sulfur-crested cockatoos just before I made this video. Yes, vet school is good, but some of it can be a bit tiring. Alright, I'm going to go. Farewell.